Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a journey through time, right here in the concrete jungle, where dreams are made of. We're going to explore the epic story of New York City, told not through books, but through its buildings. From the cobblestone streets of the 17th century to the sky-piercing towers of today, New York's architecture is a living museum, and we're about to take a deep dive. So, picture this. It's the 1600s. The city isn't New York yet. It's New Amsterdam, a Dutch trading post. The buildings, think simple, practical, and very Dutch. We're talking narrow brick houses with steep, stepped gables, just like the ones you'd find in Amsterdam. Only a few precious examples survive, like the Wyckoff House in Brooklyn, which gives us a tiny glimpse into this foundational era. It wasn't about grandeur. It was about survival and trade. But this was just the first brick in a city that would constantly reinvent itself. Fast forward to the 18th century. The British are in control, and the city's architectural style starts to shift. Georgian architecture, with its love for symmetry, order, and classical details, becomes the new trend. Think of St. Paul's Chapel, the oldest surviving church building in Manhattan. It's elegant, balanced, and a beautiful example of the period. This was a city finding its footing, expressing a newfound sense of permanence and sophistication through its structures. These buildings were a statement. We are here to stay, and we are building a proper city. Then came the 19th century, and boom, New York explodes. Immigration, industry, and wealth flood the city, and the architecture goes wild. This is the era of revival styles. You want Greek temples? We got Greek revival, with grand columns on buildings like Federal Hall, feeling more medieval. The Gothic revival gave us the breathtaking spires of Trinity Church, a skyscraper of its time, dominating the downtown skyline. This period wasn't about one single style. It was about borrowing from the past to create a vision for the future. Each building was telling a story, reflecting the diverse aspirations of a rapidly growing metropolis. But the most iconic New York style of the late 19th century has to be the brownstone. Row after row of these elegant, reddish-brown sandstone townhouses began to define entire neighborhoods in Brooklyn and Harlem. They represented the rise of a new middle class, a dream of domestic bliss, just a ferry ride away from the chaos of Manhattan. The uniform facades created a sense of community and order, streetscapes that are still cherished today. Walking through these neighborhoods feels like stepping back in time, doesn't it? As the 19th century closed, a new kind of ambition took hold. It was the Gilded Age. Unimaginable fortunes were being made, and the city's elite wanted to show it off. Enter the Beaux-Arts style. Inspired by the grand academies of Paris, this was architecture at its most opulent. Think of the New York Public Library or Grand Central Terminal. It's all about massive scale, elaborate ornamentation, sculptures, and a sense of theatrical grandeur. These weren't just buildings. They were palaces for the public, designed to impress and inspire awe in everyone who saw them. They proclaimed New York as a cultural capital on the world stage. And then, everything changed. The 20th century arrived, and with it, a race to the sky. The invention of the steel frame and the elevator unleashed a new possibility. The skyscraper. Early marvels, like the Flatiron Building, captured the public's imagination. But it was the 1920s and 30s that gave us the style that screams New York, Art Deco. This was the Jazz Age, an era of glamour, optimism, and modernity, and its architecture reflected that perfectly. The Chrysler Building, with its gleaming terraced crown and eagle gargoyles, is the ultimate Art Deco icon. It's sleek, geometric, and unapologetically decorative. Then there's the Empire State Building, which became the tallest building in the world, a powerful symbol of American ambition even during the Great Depression. These towers weren't just office blocks. They were monuments to progress, piercing the clouds and redefining the very idea of a city. After World War II, the mood shifted again. The ornate decoration of Art Deco gave way to the clean lines and glass walls of the international style. Think less is more. Architects like Mies van der Rohe brought this minimalist, corporate aesthetic to New York with buildings like the Seagram Building. It's all about functionalism, transparency, and a sleek, universal look. These glass boxes became the new uniform for corporate America, creating a skyline that was less romantic, perhaps, but undeniably modern and powerful. This was the Mad Men era, and its architecture was cool, confident, and all business. From the 1980s onwards, things got a bit more playful. Architects began to reject the rigid rules of modernism. This is the era of postmodernism, where you see a return of color, historical references, and sometimes a bit of humor. A great example is the AT&T building, now 550 Madison Avenue, with its famous Chippendale top that looks like a piece of giant furniture. It was controversial, but it broke the glass box mold and brought a new sense of personality back to the skyline. And that brings us to today, the 21st century. New York's architecture is more diverse than ever. We have the Starchitecture phenomenon, with world-famous architects creating uniquely shaped, sculptural buildings. Think of the curving, biomorphic forms of Frank Gehry's 8 Spruce Street, or the sleek, super tall, super skinny residential towers rising along Billionaire's Row. These new skyscrapers are feats of engineering, pushing the limits of what's possible and once again reshaping the city's silhouette. Sustainability has also become a major driver, with green roofs and energy-efficient designs becoming more and more common. So, from a humble Dutch outpost to a global metropolis, the story of New York is etched in its stone, brick, steel, and glass. Each building, each style, is a chapter in that story, a story of ambition, innovation, struggle, and rebirth. The next time you walk through the city, look up. You're not just looking at buildings, you're reading a 400-year-old epic that's still being written. What an incredible city. Thanks so much for joining me on this architectural tour of New York City. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Let me know in the comments what your favorite building in New York is. See you next time.